The 2022 Integrated Water Quality Report, which reports on the Clean Water Act Section 303D list and Section 305B report, is presented in a digital report format. This is a highly interactive and informative web page that has substantially more multimedia content than a standard document. The 2022 Integrated Report is slightly different than the 2020 report. The report is scrolled through like a regular web page. The first page of the report includes buttons that can be used to navigate quickly to specific sections of the report. The introduction, 20 to 22 changes, Section 303D, Section 305B, rising to the challenge, measuring progress, and participate and stay informed. Clicking on the I will provide caption information in any part of the report. Clicking on the DEP logo will take you to DEP's main website. Clicking on the story map title will take you back to the beginning of the integrated report. Direct links to resources and web pages in the report are in green. Most objects embedded in the report are interactive, so look for scrolling, download, and open a new tab features. The introduction contains the public participation dates. In addition, the link to submit comments via the e-comment tool is linked here. Users can also mail comments to the address listed here. The next section, marking the 50th anniversary of the Federal Clean Water Act, is an example of a slideshow. Click on the arrows to view the story and to view an embedded video. The next part, describing Pennsylvania's water resources, is another embedded slideshow. Click on the corner to open it in a new tab, and then click on the arrows to navigate through it. There are also interactive maps embedded throughout the report. These maps show all Pennsylvania rivers, streams, lakes, and bays. Clicking on these maps brings them up in another tab. I will demo how to navigate maps later on. The next section briefly describes how assessments are recorded in the report. Assessments are either attaining, impaired, or unassessed for a particular use type, and as a result placed on a category for that use. The next section briefly describes the changes that occurred from the 2020 to the 2022 report. There are tables here as well as an interactive map. There are some important things to keep in mind when navigating these maps. First, to search for a stream, use the search box to type in a location. For example, Marysville, PA. Clicking enter will highlight the location and zoom to it. You can click on any color-coded line to find the information associated with that stream. In addition, the legend can be brought up by clicking the legend button on the right. This shows the colors associated with various assessments on the map. You can also change what layers are visible on the map with the layers button. If desired, you can change the visible base map with the base map button. Below this map, there is a table showing any 2022 delistings, which you can bring up. The next section describes the 303D list. This section of the Clean Water Act requires states to list impaired waters that require the development of a total maximum daily load, or TMDL, and describe the data used to make those decisions. The section listing data shows what data is collected in order to make assessments. In addition, this section contains links that describe how outside data is accepted for the report. The next section briefly describes categories 5 and 5 alt. Category 5 alt is a list of waters where restoration activities will begin immediately without the development of a TMDL, unlike the Category 5 list. There is a green link to the 2022 Integrated Report Viewer where you can search for specific water bodies on an interactive web map. Note that the viewer contains all assessment information and has various search functions. We highly recommend using the viewer for any specific stream assessment questions, and there is also a demo associated with that viewer. The next map shows watersheds that are designated as restoration priorities. These streams can also be identified. There is also a query function for this map. As always, you can click on buttons to view a tabular list. The next part describes Section 305B of the Clean Water Act, which requires states to report on the status of waters and describe their programs in place to control pollution and restore water quality. After a general overview, stream assessment status is shown. This graphic breaks assessments down into 4 categories: aquatic life use, recreational use, fish consumption, and potable water supply. These are further broken down into number of attaining assessments, impaired assessments, and unassessed waters for a particular use. Next, the leading sources and causes of impairment are shown for each assessed use. Note that these are just the leading ones, and there may be more that have been assigned for a particular use that are not on these lists. All sources and causes can be viewed by opening the Excel tables. Next, the same information is shown for lake assessments. The 4 uses as well as the top sources and causes of impairment are shown. Lake trophic status, which shows the Trophic State Index, or TSI, for each assessed lake, uses Secchi depth and phosphorus and chlorophyll A concentrations to describe how productive a lake is. Lakes can range from oligotrophic, or not productive, to hypereutrophic, or excessively productive. Next, there is a brief description of the status of groundwater with interactive maps. Note that these maps are slightly different. We'll investigate this type of map later on in the demo. Control programs include items in place to control sources of water quality impacts. Click on a title to view information about each program. Restoration programs describe things in place to restore water quality. Click on a title to view information about each of these programs. The next section is Rising to the Challenge. The first part of that describes the issue of climate change and displays a story map that provides information about it and what actions Pennsylvania is taking to control it. DEP is also working on meeting the goals of the Chesapeake Bay TMDL, which is described in the section Chesapeake Bay Reductions. DEP measures progress of all this work by analyzing existing data and documenting restored waters. One way we do that is to document water quality trends. This embedded feature, like the groundwater map above, has multiple tabs that need to be clicked on to explore the set of information. You can look at total phosphorus, total nitrogen, suspended sediment, total aluminum, and total chloride. For each parameter, you can click on a site and see an embedded graph showing yield in pounds per acre. In addition, restoration efforts are highlighted. Restorable wetlands are also highlighted in the next map. When waters are removed from any of the impaired categories of the integrated report, which are categories 4A, 4B, 4C, 5, and 5 alt, they are considered restored. Here you can navigate the map to see information on waters where at least one protected use has been fully restored. The Participate and Stay Informed section again displays the public participation period and link to the e-comment tool, as well as the address where comments can be mailed. How's My Waterway, a new tool developed by EPA that allows you to easily view water quality information about any location in the country, is also provided here. In addition, other DEP information links are displayed, as well as the contact phone number and email address for questions regarding the 2022 Integrated Report. Thank you for your interest in the 2022 Pennsylvania Integrated Water Quality Monitoring and Assessment Report.